Like, try to describe that. Like, what is going through your head?
Everything possible for him not to get back up. And I know it sounds funny when people say that, but that's the truth. You know, my big thing was, if I got somebody hurt, get them out. Because boxing is dangerous,
right.
You know, and anything can happen. If they can get back up, they have a chance at knocking you out.
That was Kelly Pavlik on the Joe Rogan podcast sharing his boxing philosophy. Before we jump into this fight, though, I want to take a second to review the build-up to the fight and the two men who made it possible. Pavlik and Taylor met in 2007 at the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was a fight that would be later voted as Fight of the Year by the Boxing Writers Association of America. Pavlik was entering the fight coming off a career-defining victory with his destruction of the hard-hitting Edison Miranda just 4 months earlier. Pavlik, by then, he was already known as a forward-moving, ruthless puncher, had a strong jab, and it was a serious contender with a perfect record of 30-0. He was out of Youngstown, Ohio, known as the Ghost, 6'2", certainly tall for a middleweight, fighting at 160. He had a stellar amateur career, and ironically, that was where Jermaine Taylor and Kelly Pavlik first met, was at the 2000 Olympic trials. This would be Pavlik's last amateur fight. Taylor would beat him at the Olympic trials. Pavlik, moving on, would turn pro that same year. He won his debut professional bout with a third-round knockout, setting the course for a second meeting 7 years later, where he would avenge his loss, knocking out Taylor and becoming the undisputed middleweight champion. Jermaine Taylor, he was 27-0 at the time of their meeting. He was making his fifth title defense as the WBC, WBO, and the Ring Magazine World Middleweight Champion. Over the course of the 2 years before he had met Pavlik, Taylor had put together a wonderful resume, a Hall of Fame type resume. He had beaten the likes of Corey Spinks, Ronald Winky Wright, and Bernard Hopkins twice. Of course, as we know, Hopkins defended his titles a record 20 consecutive times before losing to Taylor. Taylor was the clear favorite going into this fight for obvious reasons. The man known as Bad Intentions was expected to be too much for Pavlik. Instead, what we got was probably best summed up by HBO's Larry Merchant. He said the following: the difference in this fight, one man got off the floor, the other man didn't. It's since become a fan favorite of middleweight title fights, and we're about to see why. Okay, guys, we're going to jump right into this. Before we start, though, this is not going to really be a breakdown, like a heavy breakdown in the technical side of fighting. This is going to be more about how to get your opponent out of there when you have him hurt.
All right, well, let's get going here. So round one, we're going to see Kelly kind of put the jab out and the right hand down the middle. We're going to watch it go straight down the middle. Of course, Taylor is game. He's going to do a lot of head movement, countering, coming off, and trying to catch his own shots. There's a size difference between the two. Not vastly, but Kelly is the naturally bigger person there. He's taller. There goes that two right down the middle. So chopping. Look, that's thudding right down the middle. You're going to see Taylor really shoot his shot here. He catches Pavlik with his hands down, lands some quick punches. Looks like Pavlik was trying to talk to him there. I don't know exactly what that was. If you see in the replay, it did look like there was some talking going on, but he was, instead of getting his words out, he got a fistful right in his mouth. Pavlik, this is basically an example of resiliency. It doesn't really have anything to do with the theme of this video, but I did leave it in here just to show you how he was able to compose himself, and you'll see him start to come back here at the end. He gets his hands up. Remembers what he's in there for. He's going to turn those right hands over. There we see he was talking. I'm pretty sure I saw that. So round three, we're going to see, again, back to work. 1-1 down the middle. 2, just how quick and tight those punches are. There's chopping. There's no wastefulness in those punches. Nothing, no energy. Look, it's straight down the middle. They're going to land. That landed. That hurt Taylor. Taylor starts going back. He has to fight on his back foot now. Again, he's not trying to bust every window in the building. Instead, he's throwing a rock through a specific window, if you would say. Taylor comes back on the attack. Right now, Taylor's more than game. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame at this point in his career, as we said in the beginning of this. See Taylor staggering a little bit there. We're going to pause it just for a quick second. Taylor, this was his fifth title defense, as I made in the intro. He is more than game, and you're going to see that Pavlik in this certainly the fifth and sixth, Pavlik kind of changes his approach. I think he senses that Taylor's ready to go a little sooner than he was, and you'll see Taylor pay for that, or excuse me, you'll see Pavlik pay for that in the fifth and sixth round as Pavlik starts getting a little overly exuberant in the head hunting. Taylor was able to slip, get back on his game, counter, and really give Pavlik some head beating there in the fifth and sixth. For a guy who's in control by this point in the fight, certainly by the fifth, halfway through the fifth, Pavlik took too many punches for my liking. But to give Pavlik his credit, he did make some adjustments in the last part of the sixth and certainly in the seventh, and I'll point that out to you when I see it. You already get the sense that Taylor has tasted a lot of power here, and he is not happy. Let's go back right here at this jab. This jab hand, watch how Pavlik leaves that left hand out. It's almost like hypnotizing the snake. He jabs it, but he leaves that jab hand out, and he kind of moves it around, like something like the big heavyweights do, like the Klitschko's, a lot of your European fighters. They'll move that jab almost like distracting him. And the fighter knows it's not necessarily a jab coming, but it could be. But he does have to register. It's in his face. It's in his line of sight. Meanwhile, Pavlik is walking behind that. He's walking in just so he can shoot that straight right down the middle. Let's watch this again. Watch this jab. Leaves it, boom. Comes back with the hook. He misses with the right, but the hook is programmed. It comes right behind the right hand. It almost comes with the package every time. Hands are up. Pavlik snapping that jab, shooting that right hand. There goes the hook. Sometimes he'll come with that left uppercut. It just depends on what angle he's at. There goes that hook. It's just repeatable. I wouldn't call it simple boxing, like there's no sophistication in it. It's just efficient more than it is simple. But it's a great way to conserve energy. And those combinations are good. So, all right, here we go. We're going to go in the fifth. We're going to see Pavlik. I think he might have senses Taylor is hurt, and he is, but he's not ready to go. There's a difference. Taylor actually fighting back, moving. And Taylor's tasted a lot of power at this point, and Pavlik's tasted everything that Taylor can give him, and I think he's tasted his best. And here I think Pavlik says, I'm going to get this guy out of here. But he gets too close, starts the head hunting. That was some beautiful fighting by Taylor. Let's go back and look at this. Watch how Pavlik comes in after that combo. Instead of kind of staying back and punching and keeping him at the end of those punches, Pavlik closes in on him, and Taylor makes him pay. Watch. Good slipping, just good and slipping and riding out. Landed some more shots. That was right at the bell. No harm. All right, so Pavlik here, we're going to see him get a little aggressive with the head hunting again. But he does make an adjustment, and you'll see it after this round, certainly it must have been a talk in the corner. Nice work by Taylor, digging to the body, digging back to the head, keeping Pavlik at distance here. But watch how Pavlik is just relentless in that pressure. And Taylor's making him pay for it. See, even Pavlik gets away from the jab there. Now he goes back. Let's go back for a second. Let's see the difference between this sequence. I want to go back, guys. Look, he's not jabbing. He's walking in. No. Even the great Pavlik makes mistakes. Look. But it's almost like an alarm goes off, a bell goes off. Now look, it goes right back to the jab. See the difference in those sequences now? You get your man back, goes to the body. Great job going to the body. It was there, take it. Taylor ties him up, very wise. All right, so look, right here, we're going to go to this round. You see something worked there at the end, and I think they took that back to their corner. That walking in with your hands up, Taylor's not going to let you get away with that. He's going to throw a 3 or 4 punch combo. He's going to circle back out to the center of the ring. He's going to establish a pace and take your pace from you if you keep allowing him to do that. That's how you get outworked. Not to bring another fight in this to muddy the waters here, but that kind of what Benor Hopkins did to Pavlik when they fought a couple years later. Having said all that, let's go back and look at these adjustments, clear adjustments he made, because at the end of that sixth, he decided to stay at the end of his punches, fight behind that jab, move Taylor back, and land again that single chopping right down the middle. Just shoots it like a missile. It's not wide. It's straight down the middle. There goes the jab, pushing him back. Taylor responds. Nice bag work or nice body work. Pavlik's not going to let him get over there twice. Notice that left hand here. He goes body, head. Nice work. Jab. Taylor slips. Boom. He did not slip that one, though. He caught that one splash on the chin. Taylor's a little hurt right here, and he's going to get caught with a big right at the end of this jab. Watch how he keeps his. Watch how Pavlik keeps his distance. Boom. He does not come in. That puts him out on his feet. Pavlik goes, oh yeah, he's hurt, and there it goes. It was a repeat. There goes the left uppercut. All those opposing punches. There goes the shot to the ear. There goes the chopping hook. There went the uppercut again. Finished him with another chopping hook, and there she goes. Misses with the right, but comes back with that. Now watch Pavlik take his time here. He's just keeping his hands up. He looks for it. Look, he even pauses. Boom, decides to go around with a right hook. Comes right back with the uppercut, straight down the middle. Those are shots from opposing sides. Reason being is the left uppercut lifts the chin, lifts the chin up, the straight right down the middle. With Taylor's hands up in front, almost like looking through binoculars like you're taught, Pavlik notices this right hook, catches him in the ear, and goes back below again with a right uppercut. It was perfect, well-placed combinations, well-timed combinations. He did not waste energy. He did not get in there and try to blow him up with a bunch of winging shots. He was right on top of him. Short, snappy punches. The elbow was out behind the wrist. The thumbs was being turned down. I always teach that. Even when you're in close range, you can still throw a full right hand by keeping that elbow behind your fist, behind that middle knuckle and that elbow in line, turning that thumb down, you get full detonation. It's a really devastating shot, even when you're in close range. Again, the theme to this is how to get your guy out of there, especially when you got him hurt. You move in, you close the distance, you don't waste punches. Simplicity in aggression versus wild rage. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. Drop them below. Otherwise, definitely like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.